In this video, I'm going to completely change your paradigm and understanding of female nature and your understanding of what it takes to keep a woman attracted forever and make her the most loyal being ever. And I'm going to completely shift your paradigm about your understanding of hypergamy, because your current understanding and your beliefs are completely wrong. And that's not because you're stupid. No, quite contrary. It's because you've been given the complete wrong information. So I'm going to do a deep dive into the female psyche and their raw, like, female nature and primal desires. And this is going to help you attract an abundance of high quality women and, like, make any woman fucking loyal, bro. Trust me. What does hypergamy actually mean? So by my definition, hypergamy is an unconscious female primal desire to be with the best possible option. And let me fucking help you understand that there are actually 5 criteria that women evaluate you on whether or not you are meeting her hypergamous nature, which means, yeah, is she with a winner? Those 5 criteria essentially are her primal desires. And I've come up with this myself, obviously, duh. Those 5 primal desires that I've come up with to help you understand what women truly want are essentially a result of primal attraction, and then they evolve around her, like, needs on a primal level. And what these 5 primal desires do that I'm about to share with you are essentially, they will, when you meet those 5 primal desires, you will cover all spectrum of emotional experiences that a woman can have with you, you know? In order to make a woman completely hooked with you and make her like the most loyal being ever, you give her a broad range of emotions, yeah? And by broad range of emotions, I mean negative as well as positive. Now, you might think that this is bad, this is negative, but it's not, bro. It's like, it's not toxic. It is simply part of the human experience. You cannot have sun without rain, you know? So especially the nice guys struggle with this. They are the nice guys. I call them the Kevins. The Kevins, they only focus on, like, happy emotions. And then we have the counterpart, the Andrews. The Andrews only focus on the negative emotions. They give them, it's called push-pull, right? From the pickup community. They give women a little bit of good emotions, and then they pull back and give them lots of negative emotions, and that is quite toxic, actually. You know, so if you truly want a high quality woman and you want to keep her attracted long term, bro, then you need to give her a broad range of emotions without the intention of, like, hurting her, actually. But I'm going to dive into that in a second, actually, what I mean, like, by giving her, making her feel bad emotions. And I'm going to give you a sneak peek that is actually evolving around the fact of playfully teasing, but also setting boundaries, because, setting a boundary might make her feel something negative, but the intention isn't to hurt her, to harm her. You accept the fact that maybe setting a boundary will hurt her, but it's completely okay. Anyways, we dive into that in a second. So, as I said, the 5 primary desires that I'm focusing on, bro, are evolving around all, like, will cover all emotions that a woman can experience, and because of that, you will essentially satisfy hypergamy, because hypergamy fundamentally is looking for a satisfaction or satiation of all emotions that a woman can experience. So, what is primary desire number 1? Safety, bro. Safety is at the core or at the foundation of every human being. But let's stick with women here. So, what does safety mean? Safety can be split into 2 main levels or pillars. Physical and emotional safety. For a woman to be attracted to you at the foundational level, you need to make her feel physically as well as emotionally safe. And how do you do that? Physical safety is by being emotionally regulated. So it shows or conveys that you're not losing your shit when she pushes your buttons, you know? But on top of that, it is, like, visible and functional strength. So visible strength is the typical gym bro. Yeah, think of, I don't know, like Sam Sulek, Mike Thurston, for instance. These guys look big, so that is physically, like, that conveys strength. Whether or not they are true, like, whether or not they're strong in the context of fighting is a different question. But subconsciously, it conveys that they are intimidating and not to be fucked with. Yeah. Purely because they're so big. Now, when it comes to functional strength, or the other type of visible strength, can also be like you being like shredded, or like have a nice definition, looking like you are actually going to the gym. You don't have to become a fucking bodybuilder, right? So if you have wide shoulders, that conveys safety as well, because you look like somewhat intimidating. Then on top of that, we have functional strength. Now, when a woman knows that you are capable of violence, because you're a competent fighter, because you do contact sports, because you do MMA, boxing, Muay Thai, yada, 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 whatever it is, that will also subconsciously signal to a primal brain, this guy will protect me. That's what physical safety is all about. You need to convey to her that you are, or like visibly, that you are capable of protecting her in case of danger. Now, modern society is not truly exposed to the same kinds of danger compared to like our primal brains or primal days, but the primal brain has not evolved that much. It's still essentially functioning on the same kind of parameters, you know? So the moment you convey visible strength by either being big or by being like competent and like doing contact sports, that conveys strength and will make her feel safe. That's why women, for instance, are also so attracted to like muscular men. If you look at the Hub Insights, one of the most popular search history or searches from women is muscular men, by the way. Yeah, so stop being a skinny bitch, man. Yeah, and work out, bro. Hit the gym, work out, man. And also, if you look at calendars with male models, or like some of the best-selling calendars were with firefighters, police officers, men in uniform, because that conveys protection and power, by the way. And then emotional safety, which is prime desire number 2. Emotional safety is when you make her feel obviously emotionally safe, but that I mean you don't judge her, you don't criticize her, you don't shame her. You can criticize her actions, but not her character, by the way. So by that I mean, let's say that is mostly your, let's say, Martin archetype. And Martin archetype is the feeler energy that every man has, especially the nice guys. They have a bit too much Martin. And that nice guy, or that emotional safety, is conveyed by reading her well, like labeling her emotions. Hey, it sounds like you're upset. It sounds like you're having a rough day. These are kind of things that you can just say. This is a technique that will make her feel heard, that will make her feel seen. Yeah, that is part of emotional safety that every woman needs. The reason why emotional safety is so underrated is because we men often misunderstand that women experience emotions twice as strong as men. And because of that, when you criticize her, for instance, the emotional impact is so much bigger for her compared to us, because we men, we've been raised with suck it up and emotions don't really matter. So when we set a boundary in a Patrick way, so in a harsh way, in a very assertive way, without sort of cushioning it, it will hit her much, much harder than you actually think and realize. Because again, women's brains are set up differently than ours, you know? And that's why they experience emotions twice as strong as us. So again, when you are with a woman, and make sure that she feels heard and seen. As I said, on a date, if you're on a date, you can say actually you can use the same technique, labeling, as I call it. You can just say, when she's sharing a story about her traveling, you can just say, hey, it sounds like you love an adventure, you know? That's a cold read, and it makes you feel she feels like, wow, this guy knows me inside out already, you know? It's crazy. But anyways, that's a technique that I also teach my guys in my community, my Gentleman's Academy. So if you ever want to join, bro, the link is in the description. I'm not going to do a hard sell here, yeah? So if you want to join, click the link in the description. Bro, would love to see you. Anyways, prime desire number 3, connection, bro. Do you get her on a deeper level? Can you make her feel something? And this goes to the heart, straight to the heart. So can you create a heart-to-heart connection, bro? And a lot of men that are heavily in their masculine will struggle with that. So this is fucking funny, bro. A lot of men who are like Andrews, who hyper masculine, they will never truly create a connection with a woman, because a deep emotional connection, because because they are afraid of their own emotions, and because of that, they will always have superficial relationships. Now, on the other side, we have the nice guys, the Kevins, who are essentially like completely like stuck in their emotional being, in their male feminine energy, and because of that, they are focused completely on connection and safety, on building that, which is a great foundation. But they, like the Kevins, they lack leadership and fantasies, which are the other ones that I'm going to go into a second. And because Kevins lack these two, women will get bored. If you're only playing it safe, if you're only connecting to her on an emotional level, you're essentially building like a friendship, but you're not building a friendship. You're building a friendship dynamic paradigm, but not a frame, but you're not building a lover frame in that regard. So that's why connection is important, but if you're only focused on these three, it's just gonna set you up for friend zone, or like even within your relationship. Now, going a bit deeper on connection. So how do you make her feel like you know her, you get her? So you can, on a date, you can ask questions like, hey, what makes your heart sing? What would be your biggest regret of life if you would never do X, Y, Z? That allows her to authentically open up. And when she is allowed to authentically open up, that makes her feel seen and heard on a deeper level. And the fun fact is here, and by the way, I've measured or like written those primary desires out by importance, or like chronologically, fuck my life, bro. So you cannot create crazy fantasies in leadership without creating or building the foundation of safety first. Yeah. So always focus on building safety first, then connection, and then you go through the other primary desires. But anyway, so I'm going on a rant here, bro, on a tangent. So connection essentially means, connect to your heart. In a relationship, you can actually ask the same questions that I just shared with when it comes to dating. And it allows her to like open up to you, because deep down, every human being wants to open up. Every human being wants to be heard. Every human being wants to be seen and connect on a deeper level, because that releases serotonin and some other like really powerful chemicals. And I want to share that as well. I'm going to like chuck that in here, because most of the like gurus out there don't even know about neuroscience, and they will not even understand that the chemicals that are being released with these prime desires. And because they don't understand that, that's why they can't go beyond women want money or women just want a hot guy. Anyways, that was a bit of a rant again. So we've got those. Now, when it comes to leadership is a primal desire that is so underrated in the West, especially. A woman wants to feel your raw masculine energy. Why? Because she wants to be empowered into her feminine energy. The reason why so many women nowadays in the West are hyper masculine is because most men are too afraid to be masculine themselves. And raw masculine energy, how does this look like on a fucking day-to-day basis? It is being confident, lead, assertive, set boundaries on a date, in a relationship. Like, be on your purpose, bro. Face your fucking demons, bro. Be emotionally regulated. Like learn how to be a grounded, composed masculine man, without becoming a fucking toxic dickhead, man. And one element that is also completely underrated is passing her shit tests. When a woman throws shit tests at you, she does this because either, like in dating, in the context of dating, she does this because she finds you sexually attractive enough to consider you as a sexual mate, and now she's vetting you. So shit tests are actually congruence tests, and they're a compliment, bro. So every time a woman shit tests you, like, you should see this as a good sign because she's sexually interested in you. Now, in relationships, shit tests are actually a bad sign. Shit tests in relationships mean that you are stepping like down as the king in the kingdom. So like every relationship has a frame, And if there's not enough polarity in the relationship, so the relationship or the frame is depolarized, that means that the woman is stepping up into her queen energy, into her king energy, into her masculine energy, because you as a man are failing your duty as a masculine leader of the frame. So the kingdom is being abandoned by its masculine king, and so the queen has to step up. And so she can only step up to like fill the void that you as a king has left by like becoming masculine herself. So as a man, like you need to be in your raw masculine energy. You need to connect to your wild man again. You need to connect to that primal energy that you've been sort of conditioned to suppress. And you can do this by asking yourself, okay, what are my deepest desires? How would I show up as a man if I would not be afraid of being judged from being masculine? You know, that will fucking make you so much more attractive. Now we have primary desire number 5, which is fucking fantasies. And fantasies, bro, are a big one. And I fucking love it. And I love teaching that to my guys because it is, especially the highly analytical guys, are like, they suck at creating like crazy adventure and fantasies in women on dates or in a relationship. Because, yeah, this relies purely on an emotional, psychological frame rather than a logical frame. And yeah, because most men are so hyper analytical and hyper logical, this like building, like creating sexual tension through playful teasing, through game essentially, is the difficult one. So if you struggle with this and you want help with become better at the texting and creating sexual tension over text, or like learn to flirt, bro, join my academy. Again, as I said, link is in the description. So fantasies, first of all, I'm going to touch on a few fantasies that women have. So first of all, women have the fantasy of being with a man that is has power, a man that can protect her. Remember, firefighters, men in uniform. But also she wants to like tame a wild lion, bro. So the issue that so many Kevins have is that they used to be a wild lion, but then they get tamed by a woman. And the ultimate female fantasy is, or one of the ultimate female fantasies is to tame a wild lion. But it's like a catch-22. When she tames you and manages to tame you as a wild lion, then you are not a wild lion anymore. So she destroyed your own fantasy. So that's why it's so important for you as a man to never completely give up your freedom and never like completely give up the wildness that you have as a man. Yeah. And that then like, so how do you convey to her that, so now lots of guys in the red, like, now I don't want you to think that you need to cheat on her and that you like need to have fucking 500 different girlfriends. What I'm trying to say here is that you need to convey that you're still a wild lion. So how do you do that? On a date or on a relationship, that doesn't matter what context it is, never stop teasing, never stop flirting. So there are different types of teases. For instance, a cooperative tease versus a competitive tease. A competitive tease is a tease that is you against me. Yeah, like, hey, like when she talks a lot, you can just say, hey, like, where's the mute button on you, by the way, you know? Conveys confidence because you're not afraid to like put her in her place or make fun of her, you know? But then, but a cooperative tease is a tease where you create a us against the world kind of dynamic and frame. And both are great to build more attraction, yeah? And the cooperative tease is a bit more your Don Juan energy because it's playful but also still loving, while the competitive tease is a bit more your Patrick energy because it's just assertive and almost like asserting dominance. Use to create more sexual tension on a date or with your girlfriend is maybe language. Keep it ambiguous. If a woman knows your cards, if you have a hand of cards and she knows all your cards, she's going to be bored. So fundamentally, make a woman feel something, and ideally something that is exciting and like wild almost. And you do that by maybe language and the teasing, because the maybe language especially lets her imagination fill in the blanks that you create. Instead of you having to guess which of her fantasies is the most dominant one, you just create an ambiguity and let her fill in the blanks herself with her favorite fantasy about men or you in general, you know? So yeah, man. what I've just shared with you were the 5 primary desires, but we're not done yet, right? Because there's one more truth that I have held back yet, and this is going to be fucking epic because no one has told you that yet. As a quick summary, first of all, though, do you see how each of these 5 primary desires gives a woman a broad range of emotions? So if you look at safety, physical and emotional, it makes her feel safe. Yeah, that's kind of neutral but protected, so that makes her feel positive. Connection makes her feel excited and also heard, and it conveys almost a feeling of love, which is a strong positive emotion. Now, when it comes to leadership can be extremely strong, as well as extremely positive and extremely negative. So, what do I mean by that? Leadership is essentially like the ability to display and convey confidence, which is extremely positive, but also the downside of confidence is that you will step up for your principles. You will protect your principles, which means that sometimes you will set a boundary that she doesn't like, which is fantastic because in that moment, she feels your resistance, she feels your masculine resistance. It's going to upset her. Consciously, she's going to be upset, but subconsciously, she's going to be more attracted to you because she knows that you're not a pushover. So it's a bit paradox, but it fucking works like a charm. And then on top of that, fantasies. So here's where game comes into play. Game gives her everything from negative to positive. So let's say the competitive tease gives her a bit of a negative emotion because, hey, where's the mute button? As in, this is a polite way of saying, or a witty way of saying, shut the fuck up, but in a funny way. So it's not meant to harm her. But that is she's going to be she's going to feel some sort of rejection. And if one thing women cannot handle is rejection, because most women never get rejected their entire life. So that's why it's creating a negative emotion. And because most men, 99% of men will never dare to make her feel a negative emotion on this side, will make you stand out, bro, by the way. Now let's move on to the fucking crazy part that I haven't shared yet with you is, I'm not even fucking sure you can still see me in the video, but I'm sure you can. So just like men have different masculine archetypes, women have different female or feminine archetypes, yeah? And based on the female archetype they are most dominant in, the expression or the need of these 5 primary desires is going to be expressed in a different way. Now, coming back to what I mentioned at some point in the fucking video, I don't remember when, most of the dating coaches and most of the red pill guys will teach you to attract a specific archetype, which I call Tiffany the Throat Machine, or maybe a second one, which is Jessica. Tiffany the Throat Machine is a girl that has low self-esteem and most likely is hypersexualized. And this is the kind of girl that you will find on the podcasts that you watch and most of the street interviews. Another type of that kind of expression of archetype is what I call the Jessica. Jessica is this boss babe. Again, you will find her on the podcasts as well as on the street interviews. Now, these two are operating more in their masculine energy, while when you look at the spectrum of energies, you have masculine and feminine. They are also the Kathy, the Olivia, that are operating more on the feminine energy, on the feminine energy spectrum. And we have Marie, who is a bit more leaning towards masculine, but has a massive potential for feminine energy. Now, if you meet a woman in her feminine energy, like a Kathy or like Olivia, her hypergamous nature will be looking for a guy that makes her like she's with a winner by her standards. And by her standards, I mean she's looking for a guy that is able to give her a deep emotional connection and masculine leadership, because those are the two primary desires she's lacking deeply and lusting over, so to say. Then if you were to meet a Jessica or Tiffany, the Throat Machine, which are both operating in their masculine energy, they are looking both for fantasies, primary desires, and a man that can satisfy her need for leadership. So why do no matter whether a woman is in the masculine energy or in the feminine energy, why do they both want leadership, which might be ironic, right? The reason why Jessica, who's very masculine, needs leadership is because she needs a man that can keep up with her. she needs a man who can banter and who is not a doormat. Because if you're a doormat, like a Kevin, she's going to walk all over you and then will then signal to her that you are shit at all the other prime desires. You cannot make her feel safe. And yeah, there's no connection and also no fantasies, right? Now, when you look at Tiffany, your throat machine, the reason why fantasies and leadership are so important to her are because she's a mess. So she needs masculine structure to her feminine chaos. And she's this playful, like hypersexualized woman. So she wants like fun, a lot of fun. So if you are like a boring, let's say, software engineer, boring by all means, not judgmental, but if you are like a guy who doesn't like to party, who likes to read and is into self-improvement, Tiffany, throat machine, the party girl, is not going to be the one for you, you know? Like, you're going to be extremely unhappy because there's a complete mismatch of compatibility in this. Yeah, man. And if you want to learn about those female archetypes, join my fucking academy, bro. Link in the description. And I hope you enjoyed this video, bro. Just as a quick summary. Yeah, if you want to learn... if you want to satisfy a female hypergamous nature, you need to hit her 5 primary desires, and depending on the archetype that you meet, you might need to just adjust the kind of archetype you are in to satisfy the prime desires that she's looking for. Crush it.